Virtual Riot just hooked everybody up with his Stealing Fire album stems for each song, minus two with collabs, but whatever. And like, oh my goodness. I'm gonna start diving into this because this is just gonna be so unbelievably fun. It's like dubstep, melodic bass. We're doing the song "What," "Believe What You Want," and I'm gonna just sit here analyzing some stuff. I have the master. I went and bought the wave because I'm like, yo, like thanks for hooking it up. So I'm gonna buy the whole album, but like already stream it. But why not just hook them up with some sales? And yeah, let's check it out. Let's listen to the master. Oh my goodness. All right, so around four LUFs, minus four LUFs. And you know, with dubstep we want to analyze the loudness and everything at the same time. At least I do. But more so than anything, I'm excited to get into the arrangement of this monster. So again, let's just go straight to the drop. All right, now let's compare that to the stems that he sent us. So interesting. That is what I'm like, okay, I want to know where does the orchestration, the arrangement begin and mastering end and stuff like that, because making this music can get super complex. And I used to always start throwing a master on in the beginning because I was like, oh, what should it sound like? It should sound like how I hear it on the radio stream or whatever. And so I'm just going to do a couple more tests. I'm going to throw probably just like the most simple but basic and like best limiter that I have on to his what do you call it, stems, to see if I can just get like a little baseline of where these stems realistically live. Like, are these after mix? Are these like, did he normalize a couple things and now the mix is all messed up? So anyways, like right now what I'm hearing so far is that the mix right here, the drums are gone compared to the final. So let's see if just a simple mastering plugin can do that. No, I don't think that is I don't think it's as simple as that by any means. I think you know, you probably just got to pump up the drums a little bit. Or maybe just take down the main bass. Gotta be honest, I have no idea how he's getting that kick to just like smash through so aggressively. Let's find the kick and let's see what's up. This is so fun for me. I just love finding stuff like this. There's the kicks. Okay. Also, I gotta keep in mind that it might just be redlining like hell, and there is no mastering on it, so... Let's see. I mean, that feels a lot better. Oh god, that's way too loud. Or maybe there is. It's pushed in. It could also just be more of a clipper. Let's try that real quick rather than this mastering thing. Let's see, what's the best clip? I think standard clip is probably the best clipper I have. It doesn't get all too crazy. That or like I'll go to K-Raws or whatever. But again, I want to just figure this out so like my head knows what's happening, and then I want to go more so through the arrangement and the musicality of everything and what's happening there. So let's check out standard clip and see if that sounds better. Let's listen to the on the master versus. Yeah, I kind of feel like mastering it's too much. A clipper feels a lot better. We'll try orange clip just to try a few different ones. They're probably using like the cheapest thing, like G clip or something, which I've tried to get a ton of times and I seem to not be able to download it. I don't know if it's just like an old thing that you can't get anymore, kind of like what's that one, Camel Crusher or something. But let's try orange clip. Orange clip does sound pretty good. Then his. Anyways, we're close enough so I can start just enjoying the arrangement now. I'm gonna go with orange clip actually. So, all right, let's see. Oh my goodness, this is so fun. I'm gonna leave orange clip on so it sounds more like the master the whole time, but here we go. So here is the main bass. Then I'm going to want to see what's happening here on this really cool Tearout kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to call it what I call it. So that's main bass. Let's check out the cymbals. Cool. Simple. There's no percussion fills really happening here. Okay. Some effects hype, which is really important. Listen to that ARP in the background. That's why I call it melodic bass still. Then you got your cool kind of bow. So that with the lasers, that's cool. And then in the meantime, you got that ARP. That's crazy. Let's listen to the actual drop again. Insanity, bro. I mean, I know this is where I fall short because I'm more of a pop producer at the end of the day. I really love this music, but I mean, I don't study it as hardcore as others do. But I know a lot of my friends that are in this space that are playing festivals and a bunch of cool stuff. Like they literally will put like a master in here and they will like count out bars and notes and like literally recreate these songs to get good at it. Um, Kind of like when you just like pick up a Blink 182 song on your guitar and you're just playing it till you get good at it, then you can make a bunch of rock. That's what I grew up doing and what I kind of enjoy doing the most because I like vocals and phrasing and harmonies and stuff like that. But you know, every now and then you get some really, really great EDM stuff. And I honestly think this is Virtual Riot is, in my opinion, right now in 2024, 25, 26, surpassing Skrillex, even in his prime, in my opinion, with stuff like this, for my enjoyment. So yeah. So you kind of go in here and you like maybe color different things so you know that, okay, that's the little turnaround. Then you got like a different one going on here. Then you have like a new bass sound. Then you got this rocking right here. Could go as far as like doing something like that. Then the bass note changes right there. And then you got your nice little vocal turnaround, which we will do like pink. And let's just see if it is as simple as moving this and just doubling that on over. And if you kept the same structure. Nope. And those are like different things altogether. And then these are like straight up going to be different. So let's go with red. Different rhythm. So this one goes back to that. Close, close. More like. And then that's a little bit different. So we'll do like a different shade of pink or whatever. I don't know. It's so complex, bro. Like, oh my God. Awesome. That's just the drop. But like going through these sections right now for me, it will help me understand the orchestration. So then we'll do drop 1B. And if I'm smart enough and I don't get too busy with my other schedule of pop music and stuff, maybe I will create something that actually follows some sort of structure like this and do the EDM thing where you kind of like build upon the polyrhythms and sections that are already there. Because like I said, most of the successful DJs I know and producers I know in this space do that. I used to think it was cheating, funny enough. Funny enough, they used to tell me that getting project templates and studying them and using some pieces of them was cheating. And I always was like, y'all are cheating by literally just like creating step by step the orchestration. At the end of the day, nobody's cheating, and AI just came and cheated everyone. So, but anyways, let's keep going. All right, so now that we kind of know what's going on here, let's go ahead and so all right, so yeah, sounds like an 808, kind of one of those like long quarter notes right? And then over here, he's doing a little bit more of a bum, 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 bum. It's like a Jersey club thing. So just to follow what the 808 or the sub, whatever, is doing first, and then we can kind of go into like the what's on top of it. Let's see. And it's like, yeah, there's some sub in there, but it's not as hard and defined, in my opinion, as okay. Nothing there. Really no sub here. So yeah, you could really hear how the turnarounds and the fills, I guess you could say, don't have as much defined sub in them, so that when the drop main part comes in again, it just hits even harder. So yeah, I feel like I personally understand a lot what's going on in the bass main. I'm gonna go back over to the cymbals. Add in the kick. Check out the hype again. Very cool. Some little up effects up and down. That's cool how he labels all that. Jesus. So clean with it. Let's check out the orchestral elements. Crazy, crazy. I personally wonder if the orchestral parts are from Suno. Not saying it is. Don't care even if it is. If it is, I don't care. I like it. So okay, so there's this effects hype that goes on top of the... And let's listen to those two together. Just without it. Really just adds more depth and emotion. I don't really hear it very well. Interesting. So let's try it now with the bass and this new synth layers element. So that's just the bass. Now add in these synth layers. Yeah, this rhythm section right here, all this red is so different, even in the polyrhythms. But you can see how this goes just so deep. So again, let's hear just the main bass. Now with this. See, because this with just the bass. It's almost like he's using the synth layers as like accents. Without it. Crazy. Now let's add in the effects hype. Let me turn it off. Just makes it sound fuller again. It's just there for that. Which is crazy because that isn't even that high pitched of energy. It's living around like 300 where a guitar would almost. And then this stuff, similar. You do just have difference in orchestration, obviously. Let's listen to those together. And so here's what I'm going to say is like, in order for me to get this energy, I used to go in and try to be like, okay, here's my bass. I need it to be bigger, better, and whatever. So I would go and I would make that sound bigger and better. Like I would add something of the sort through plugins or whatever to get that high energy. I'm starting to realize that it's more so just like vertical versus horizontal orchestration. I think that the horizontal orchestration can be underwhelming when you're first composing. I personally think I'm going to start doing it like this. Take care of all that crap first, knowing that later I'm going to kind of like enhance it with these little melodic layers, or not layers, I'm sorry, but horizontal orchestration in its whole entirety. So like technically if I had my drums already ready, I would go like, and not really worry too much, except obviously maybe watch the MIDI or the notes or whatever and just know what I'm doing. Like layering it mixed in. I think it's more of a just trust your gut knowing another layer goes there. Anyways, what's next? Nothing in the melodic section necessarily just yet. Probably in another drop. Vocal lead. What you want, just yeah, that's crazy. There's so much layer of polyrhythm happening everywhere. Let's just check this real quick. Nothing for a while. See, that's crazy. Even just listening to that, I wouldn't know that that's in there, so. Now let's add this. So I'm thinking the bass is kind of doing this. Obviously, all of it's kind of curving, but this red section of drop 1B, it's doing this kind of Jaws trick of feel the volume of like so I'm gonna do a bigger arc on that. Let's just follow just what's essentially happening. And when I assess all of that now, I'm like, oh, that makes way more sense of like, you know, ultimately your goal between everything is going to be the A, B, A, essentially with that sub. And that's how I'm reading it. Then you add all these layers. I just wonder, this is my Number one question, if I were to ask Virtual Riot, if I can remember this part in the segment, or anybody can tag this, just my main question, I understand, I don't understand why podcasts and everybody interviewing all these guys and stuff are never asked this question. I don't really care so much to, like, I mean, I do care, this is amazing, but to see all your elements and stuff, but like it's more so the theory of like, what do you approach, not start with, because I know it changes all the time, but what do you approach as like the number one important thing versus like secondary things? Like, is it important for you, Virtual Riot, I don't know your real name, to just get this bass main down with the drums maybe and the cymbals, and then after that kind of fill in the gaps with this hype stuff? Then after that be like, oh, I kind of need some synth layers, so I'm going to kind of like fill in the gaps there too, or like the gaps of vertical excitement, I'm going to say, and I guess horizontal, whatever. And then even after that, be like, oh, maybe just these extra little, like, these little vocal things would need to come in. Because, like, listen to the track without it. Now with it. So I still hear it in there, so it's the inside. So it's like, bong, it's like a, right? So now if I take both of these out. Crazy. He knew, he was like, yo, like this I'm gonna call it like a flute. He was like, that flute's cool, but it needs to be accented with the same exact freaking note and frequency, so let's use a vocal in that same spot. Now put it on. So it's like, yeah, do all these layers come in as you're like finishing it? And like, even furthermore, do you work on the drop and get all this down, or are you starting from the beginning of sections? Obviously, there's just so much to this. It blows my mind and seems like it would take either a year of tinkering so often of just like getting it to the right space that you want, which in my experience, when I do that, I just get lost and then I don't know what the song even is anymore, and I'm just trying different shit. So I don't think that's the best approach. Whereas the best approach might just be going horizontally through a lot of the elements all at once, you know, and then layer as you go. And I have a problem with that because then I feel like I'm not making the music all at once. Like if I were to do that and be like, all right, let me program all these drums, let me get them to do the fills that I want. Okay, now let me program the main bass riffs and stuff and get them to do that. By the time I'm done with all that, I'm like, shit, I just want to hear the damn thing. Like I'm excited to, it's probably ADD on my behalf, but then, you know, I do see how that could yield better results. And then you could be like, all right, now I need a melodic section. So let me go to the orchestra and synth layers and stuff and the melodics. And again, like start with, maybe it seems like what's most full would be the synth melodic. Let's check that out. Cool, so obviously this is like the build up, but musically it's building too. It's telling a story. Then there's your drop where there's nothing happening. So yeah, so I'm assuming like for my practice next, I'm gonna go ahead and make like the whole melodic section like that, maybe my drums or whatever, and really like orchestrate when and where I'm gonna do things. And yeah, maybe it is better to like have somebody else's track here to at least follow a little bit of like a song you like the energy of how it goes. Um, just parts wise. And so you know that like you're not gonna get too lost. A lot of it is it's like this is like seriously hiring 40 people to like build an infrastructure of a house, right? You need to get like the architectural guy in the beginning to do the blueprints. Cool. So that's like picking the track maybe that you like, and then going through with color coding and whatever and finding the different parts and what your plan of action is. Then maybe you grab like, I don't know, your cement person or no, your plumbing or whatever, where it's like you trench everything with the drums or the music, melodics and stuff like that. But you finish the whole trenching. You don't just like do that, then skip to like scaffolding and like building the whole house. Then be like, oh shit, maybe I want a toilet over there. Let me now break all that down to go get the plumbing sorted over here. So I can see why you would want to attempt, especially in this music, where you're gonna go. And like I said, with rock, pop, all that stuff, it's really easy in my opinion to do. Maybe because I practice it so much, but like I do that already in that genre. So why wouldn't I do it with this genre? I guess because of the time it takes to get your sounds dialed in, and it's a lot more program coding almost to get this stuff working rather than plugging in a guitar and just rocking out. Which nothing's wrong with that too. I freaking love that. That's my bread and butter. But that said, so I'm gonna consider that like, the plumbing part of the situation here is figuring out the whole horizontal idea of music. And I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna set this up in a way that I could remember this and maybe make a little course on it because it's starting to click for me. Again, architecture is getting another track that you're going to follow at least sections. You're not going to copy the whole song chords or whatever. You can do it in a whole different key. It doesn't matter. You're going to follow at least the sections. That's your architecture. Then you're going to get the plumber to go ahead and trench where all the plumbing's going to go. And I'm going to say you do that with the music and the chords and maybe some top melodies and stuff like that. Music. Then I'm going to say you might want to go ahead and grab some electricity, and route that electricity together. And that's going to be the drum orchestration. Again, horizontally, finish where all the electricity is going to go throughout the whole song, right? Before layering up and putting a roof on and painting and everything. So that said, I'm thinking third step for me, how I'm going to do it is going to be the drums, where I'm going to have some knocking drums in certain parts. I'm going to have some filler drums in some other parts. We'll check out some of the orchestration as a build up, obviously, but you're going to follow that with the architectural plan of somebody else's song that's already been done, or maybe one of your own songs, whatever. Then I guess the question at that point is like, do you fill up? I think like, look, it says synth layers and orchestra effects up and down. Like, is that done in this stage of block, or do you keep going? And I think I'm going to answer it myself. You just keep going. You got to have, and I'm thinking, a part of the plumbing then, again, musical element. And whether you call a drop like this music or not, I'm going to debunk it right now and fuck yeah, it's music. And obviously we all knew it's music, but like, that's like your bass in my opinion. And now I'm realizing that this is more like your top melody. So I'm going to go ahead and say that again, foundationally, I'm going to reiterate this every single time. I'm going to go for an architecture of grabbing another song so I know parts in general. Then I'm going to do the plumbing, which is going to be the music elements of, everything from the beginning to the end of the song. So whether that's going to be intro to break, verse, whatever, build. And remember with the build, you want to build tension. So musically, build tension. Go to a minor for the build, or just a different orchestration altogether like he did. This is very, very different, this melodic, than this section. But it's on the same track. And then it goes to... So anyways, music plumbing for the verses and whatever, and the drop. Then I'm going to go to electrical, where I'm going to put in all the drums for the entire song horizontally. Then I think at that point I am going to probably say I'll paint it with even before the swooshes and everything like that, and ups and downs, or maybe this comes first. This is like another question. You know, I mean, I guess before that, before painting, what you have to do is you have to put up drywall and stuff, right? So the drywall might be the effects, I'm going to say. Putting up all those effects, knowing where things are going to kind of like rise and stuff like that with your ups and downs. Then I'm going to say your painting at that point is going to be the layers, right? So let's check out this. And I'm already like kind of seeing it now, that how it all goes and how he thinks of everything. It's like, if this is all in one track to him, apparently those are all the same instrument, you know, and like this is getting out of the box a little bit. That's not your standard guitar or whatever, but like if there was an instrument that can do this versus that, then that would be the instrument that's playing this whole track. So yeah, I'm starting to catch the drift here, and I think that I'm going to call that the painting, and I'm going to call, yes, I'm going to call this basically painting. This is so funny. I'm going to rename all this right now. So this is plumbing drop. This is going to be electric cymbals, electric drums. This will be electric. Well, I'm going to hold off on that for a quick second. No, I'm going to call it electric perk fills. Sure, whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and, again, remember this is plumbing right here. This is like plumbing, bass, melodic, like your bass foundation of it. You have these leads, which I'm going to call, your vocal lead obviously is like plumbing, bass, melodic, vocals. I'm going to go ahead and say that your orchestra and stuff is probably painting, right? And then I'm going to say that the effects up and down is your like kind of like scaffolding slash drywall. I just built a couple studios, so like I'm really into this construction idea right now, but whatever. And then let's go back to, okay, so hype. I'm going to call that like, you know, drywall scaffolding, because I feel like that can come a little bit before painting. I don't really consider that painting right now. I'm considering that, but it's also kind of painting. So I'm going to go painting. You guys can't see I'm writing it, but paint, whatever. And then again, the master down here of a different track. This happens to be the same one, but if I were writing my own thing, I'm going to call it the blueprint. Architectural blueprint. And then again, right here, I'm going to say the vocal samples and stuff is painting. And I'm going to say that after all of that is done, I think that's where you put the roof on, which is mastering roof, or just leveling, whatever you want to call that. Oh, I should make a part 2 and go deeper into each of these sections, because we really only vertically went down the drop. But again, I'm getting hung up on vertical orchestration, where I really should just keep going horizontally. So maybe the next video, or maybe I take a break and make this really long, and I go into listening to each stem all the way through horizontally. Yeah, honestly, let's do that. I'm gonna do that. All right, hang tight for a second. I'm gonna take a quick break, get some water and stuff. This is just insane. Turn my mic. Okay, there we go. I'm back now. All right. So what we're going to do at this point is what I said we're going to do, and we are going to listen to these entire stems in this order that I said that I would imagine I would create this if I were to, which I did not. This is Virtual Riot's song that I'm just analyzing, which honestly just goes to show when people are analyzing your stuff this heavily, and I'm probably not even close to the only one, you've done some greatness and art. All right, so Blueprint, which might be worth it to just go through. Let's do it. I'm gonna go one better for you guys. For the Blueprint, I'm going to figure out the chords as well. Chords slash, you know, the bass notes, like what's basically happening here. So, you know, I would drag a track in. This is the Blueprint. Remember? Yeah, we're doing Blueprint. We're doing plumbing, electrical, scaffolding, drywall, painting, then the master, which is the roof. All right, so Blueprint, we're going to throw something in that we like that we're going to want to follow section by section. We're going to cut it up in certain ways like this. And, you know, this will be like the intro, this will be like the verse, this will be like the build up, this will be like the drop, you know, and kind of do all that